Well, now the Halloween season is starting to come up, I figured it's time to start talking about one of my favorite horror franchises of all time, and that is the Child's Play franchise. I think it's the perfect time since we got a, season for Chucky 2 coming out soon, and I know I can do one on probably, the Hellraiser franchise or the Halloween franchise since they both have their own movies coming out also this month, but I've always been a bigger fan of Chucky and the Child's Play franchise. I've seen those throughout my entire childhood. So nothing against the Hellraiser franchise or the Halloween franchise. I enjoy both of those franchises respectively, but there's just something about the Child's Play franchise, just the fact that I grew up with them and I just watched every single one of the movies when I was younger. Even the newer ones, I saw them like day one as soon as they came out. There's something about that franchise that I just have a bunch of love for, so I decided to do a review on the franchise. And yeah, so I live in Florida, and right now we are dealing with Hurricane Ian, and I'm not working. I have these next couple of days off, and I figured I might as well just do a bunch of reviews and get a bunch of videos ready for the month of October, because let's be honest, for a horror fan, the month of October is the best time to be talking about horror movies. And again, I am a huge fan of the Child's Play franchise. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and I love the Friday the 13th franchise, but let's be honest, who knows when we're going to get a sequel to that, even though I know there's been some talk about a Friday the 13th sequel, finally. I still haven't heard anything about Nightmare on Elm Street, but I think it's time to start with the Child's Play franchise, and we got to start with the original, the classic, the one that made Chucky a household name, Child's Play. Now, I gotta say, Child's Play, I absolutely love Child's Play. I grew up watching this movie ever since I was little. I used to watch it on those Spanish channels like Telemundo or Univision. If you guys, know anything about like Spanish or, are Hispanic in any way, you know about those channels, and they used to always play the Chucky movies on that, and that's why I watched them. I watched them with my parents. I actually watched them with my mom all the time. We still watch them together from time to time. But yeah, I, have so much love for this franchise. Chucky, he holds a special place in my heart, and with this movie, I will be talking spoilers. I mean, if you don't know anything about Child's Play, really, just go watch it. It's an instant classic. The whole franchise is iconic in my opinion. Do yourself a favor and go watch it. If you're into horror movies at all, you've probably already seen it, but if not, go watch it. Go watch it, please. Now, pretty much, let's just get the plot over with, since I think most of you guys already know. There is this mother who is trying to find the perfect present for her 6-year-old boy. I think he's 6 at that point, right? He's just turning 6, Andy Barkley, and she's looking for a good guy doll. Now, good guy dolls are pretty much, they're the big thing right now at the moment. Well, back then when the first one came out, they were these, big, fake, obviously, fictional toys that were sold to children, and honestly, they're badass. I actually love the good guy dolls. The design of the good guy dolls themselves, iconic. And she's trying to find a present for him, but those dolls are expensive, and she finds one from like a homeless guy, and she gets one, and it turns out that it's actually possessed by a serial killer named Charles Lee Ray, and he pretty much has to put his soul into the kid, Andy Barkley, and that way, he can be human again, because right now Charles Lee Ray was a serial killer who was getting killed by a detective, and he transferred his soul into the doll before he was able to, get killed. And yeah, so then he wants to transfer his soul from the doll to Andy Barkley. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too complicated, pretty simple. And I gotta say, let's talk about it right away. Brad Dourif is Chucky. He has been Chucky. I know, we had the remake with, what's his name? Damn, how did I forget his name? Luke Skywalker. How did I forget his name? Mark Hamill. Holy crap, how could I forget his iconic name? Anyways, yeah, so I know about the reboot with Mark Hamill. I might do a review on that one. I don't know. I was planning just to do the original ones with Don Mancini. But anyways, yes, he plays Charles Lee Ray in human form, and he also plays Chucky in the doll form. He voices Chucky, and he is pretty much stuck with the character of Chucky, stuck with the doll itself. Brad Dourif and the character of Chucky are like peanut butter and jelly. They are together. If you can't think of one without the other. And if you don't believe me, you just look at the first time that you get to see Brad Dourif voice Chucky in the actual Chucky doll like this.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
That right there made Chucky iconic. He planted his name in the horror like Hall of Fame. Just that line alone. Now, yeah, Chucky is probably the biggest part of why this franchise is gone so popular. His character, pretty much the design of the doll itself, everything about it is iconic. And then we could also talk about Andy Barclay, who is the protagonist. Now, I actually met Alex Vincent at Spooky Empire not so long ago, last year. And he's a really nice guy. He's calm, he's chill. He just seems like, you know, he's relaxed. You know, he didn't let fame take over. And obviously he hasn't been in that many movies that much. But for this movie, the first role, he did an amazing job. There are some scenes, you know, where it's adorable because he's kind of messing up his lines, but there are also scenes where he has to cry, and I think he really pulled it off very well. But yeah, Andy, you know, in this movie, he's a good character, but throughout the franchise, he becomes a much better character and a much more evolved character, and it's great that we're still seeing him in Chucky. You know, he's still part of it, and that's one good thing about Don Mancini. We got to talk about Don Mancini. He is pretty much been taking care of this franchise for the longest, and I know he did Seed of Chucky. Whenever that review comes out, he will get his comeuppance. But for now, good job, Don Mancini. But yeah, well, actually, he didn't even direct this movie. This movie was directed by Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland. And yeah, I think one thing that I would notice when I was watching this movie for this review was the fact that I was looking at more details, you know, trying to think about like the camera work and stuff like that. Usually I've just been enjoying the movie, but this time, since I've seen it a million times, I kind of just wanted to just step back and analyze it a bit more, because I knew I was going to do a review on it. And I would say, yeah, the camera work is really cool. You know, there are some scenes where it would just follow the Chucky doll, and that was towards the beginning, because you don't really know at that point, if it's your first time watching, again, this is spoilers, so you probably, you know, already know about the doll, but you really don't know whether it's the doll that's going to be doing all the murders or Andy that's going to be doing all the murders. And I know way back then in, like, I think the original script, it was supposed to be like Andy or something that was possessed in some way. But yeah, I think the camera work is really nice, and just following Chucky the doll, as he's just a doll, he's just being moved by everybody else, and you're really just following that. And then of course you get the POV shots of Chucky, which make you debate, is it Andy or is it Chucky, because they're pretty much dressed the same. Of course, we all know it's Chucky. We've seen it a million times. But, you know, for those first-time watchers, it's a cool thing. And then we got to start with Andy's mom and Detective Norris. Now, Andy's mom is just such a lovable mom that would do anything for her son. I think, you know, I'm not a parent, but I think any parent can just agree that they would probably act the same way she does, and trying to do whatever it takes to protect him and see if he's, you know, innocent or not. You know, it's like she wants to believe him, but it's kind of hard when he's saying that that Chucky is, you know, the one that's committing all these murders. And then once she does find out, she really just stops at nothing to protect Andy and to prove the fact that Chucky is, you know, actually Charles Lee Ray, and the doll is actually alive. And of course, Detective Norris, you know, I don't understand why we haven't seen him back yet. You know, I hope we get to see them hopefully in Chucky Season 2 or Chucky Season 3, or if they make another movie. But those two characters, I hope we get to see them return eventually, because I think those are like the only ones that haven't really returned that are still alive technically. Well, besides Tyler from Child's Play 3. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, Detective Norris, he's a good guy. You can understand Detective Norris. He's almost us, you know. We're the ones that are just jumping into this family, and he's the one that's finding out about everything that's going on. And it's almost like we're in his point of view. You know, we the audience are Detective Norris, and we almost want to believe Andy's mom and Andy, because they just seem like such a lovable family. But at the same time, the stuff that they're telling him is kind of the stuff that they're telling us from the beginning. And it's, you know, we understand why Detective Norris is so hesitant to help them out, because he kind of believes maybe there's a little craziness inside of Andy's mom and Andy. But then once he finds out, and pretty much once everything gets revealed that yes, Charles Lee Ray is inside the Chucky doll, that's when it gets really fun, and we really get to see the animatronics at play. And I gotta say, I don't care. I would, any day, no matter how, you know, wonky he walks or how sometimes ridiculous it looks, I would always prefer practical animatronics over any of like special effects or visual effects where it's just CGI. It doesn't matter to me. It helps. It just gives it a little like nostalgic feeling, and I absolutely love it. I love the animatronics. I don't care how goofy it looks, and I don't care how sometimes you can tell that like Chucky's much taller because they're actually using a stunt double. I love it. I love every scene with it. And I love getting to see Chucky interact more, because then that's when you get to see Brad Dourif's iconic voice just really just take over and have a blast. And those are easily the best parts. The first half, it's, you know, this suspenseful build-up, and then the second half, they just have fun with it and they unleash everything. Chucky is having a blast, and even this is just barely reaching the potential that Chucky has in Child's Play 1. You really get to see more of Chucky and his character in the rest of the sequels, and his one-liners, and his just pretty much the iconic dialogue that Chucky has that nobody else can produce. Maybe Freddy Krueger would probably be the closest when it comes to the dialogue, but yeah, Chucky, love that character. And oh yeah, another thing I gotta talk about is the score. The score is so beautiful, and the sad thing is, as beautiful as it is, I can't say that it's iconic, because they kind of changed the score throughout every sequel. But the thing is, every score fits that movie so perfect that it doesn't bother me that they change the score in every sequel, because every time, you know, I'll talk about, you know, the score in, you know, every sequel going forward, but the score for this one, it's just so heartbreaking. It's, you know, I read in a comment somewhere that it's like the innocence of a child being taken away, and that's really what it is, you know, because, you know, Andy Barclay, after this, he will never be the same again, and the score matches that so perfectly, and I love the score. You know, I feel like I've been saying I love the score pretty much for every horror review that I've done, but really, they have been killing it. Horror scores this year has been killing it, and I know this movie is not really from this year, but they have been killing it. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on this movie. I plan on doing pretty much a review on this movie again, as, you know, I get better at this, as, you know, hopefully my channel grows. I don't know, I think Chucky deserves another time to get reviewed when I know more of what I'm doing. Right now, I'm kind of just still testing the water, still really trying different things and trying new things. So I think once my channel gets better, I will, you know, review this entire franchise again, because I absolutely love it and I don't mind doing it again. I feel like I'm missing a lot of details. There's a lot of things that I could be adding to it, maybe more jokes or just more information about the movie itself, or just explaining it better, what I like about it better. But for now, you know, I'm excited. I'm always happy to talk about Chucky. Chucky, to me, is a household name. He's iconic. I really want that, like, 500 Trick or Treat Studios doll. Eventually I will get it, but for now, maybe, you know, maybe you'll see it on one of the episodes of, you know, Why I'm Broke. But for now, yes, I love this movie. It's iconic. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, come on. You're probably not even watching this video. You know, if you haven't seen it, then that means you're probably not into movies that much in the first place, and you're probably not even watching this review. But if you have seen it, really, tell me what your favorite part is about it. You know, what's your favorite part about the first Child's Play movie? For me, I think it is that iconic scene the first time Chucky starts talking to Andy's mom, and he just really just goes batshit crazy. That, or just the score itself, because I love the score. It's so iconic, in my opinion, just to that one movie. But yeah, thanks for watching, and who knows when I'll have the second one out. Probably right away. Honestly, I think that's what I'm doing, because I still have the Hurricane, and I don't have anything to do. I actually don't have power. I'm just using whatever battery I have left from this camera. But yeah, so hopefully I'll release at least the first 3 Chucky reviews back to back, and then from there, you know, maybe I can start releasing them weekly, and then by the time I'm done with the whole franchise, hopefully season 2 will be finished, and then I can do a review on season 2 as well. But as always, thanks for watching.